record. So David, take it away, sir.
Did that sound like my last ding?
You need to hit it a little harder.
Yeah, hit it a little.
There you go.
That's a little better.
Yes. Well, today, welcome to Rotary Eclub of World Peace, our June 28th meeting, our last meeting of the Rotary year. And we're moving on we're evolving into the next phase, which is going to be exciting. We'll be talking about that soon. We'll get into that in a moment. And Rudy, please take it.
Okay, thanks, David. Carol's on here out in the desert. Good to see Carol. Karen's sitting next to me here. Brian's up in Ojai. Brian, good to see you. He's making a huge dove in his living room, I think, for a parade. So it's good stuff. Jamie, how are you?
Hi, Rudy. I'm good. Thank
Super. Marilyn, how are you doing?
Doing great. Came back from a respite at a place called Peace Village. What could be bad?
There you go.
you. That was lovely.
Sounds
Nice.
good. Sala, how are you?
Doing well.
Thank you for your gift to the club.
Oh, you're welcome. And I asked Rudy to send me the latest list of people in this club. The last one I had was from 2020, and I think we've almost doubled in size. I mean, it was totally incredible.
It'd be nice if we had a roster. That would be extremely helpful.
Well, I've sent them out. I'll send another one out soon. Mark, how are you? Keeping everything good, peaceful in Hawaii. Dennis over in Connecticut. Andrea, oh, you're up here in the mountains? So that's good.
She's up here.
Yeah. And Derek's out in the desert. Tammy, good to see you. Arthur's down south of the border. Peggy, as always, great to see you. Ray, good to see you tonight. Sherry, nice to see you tonight. Ding. Sharon Tennyson, good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to be back.
Good to have you back. Nice meeting we had this morning. The Yale, how are you?
Doing good. I'm excited to be officially joining this club July 1st.
We're excited to have you. Just
Thank you, sir.
Yay.
a few days away. You'll be
Yeah.
official.
Yes,
Melinda,
I've just got to get my current secretary to notify RI of the change.
Yeah, it just has to go on Rotary.org, My Rotary, and then you add and remove members, remove you in there, and then I can add you. Belinda, how are you? Doing well. Julie, how's everything with you? How's Cleveland?
Pretty good, thanks.
Good. Charles down in Tampa. Barbara, great to see you.
Thank you. I was going to get the champagne out because isn't this David's last official meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, official. Then he'll be quasi.
I was going to get some champagne. That's why I'm late, but I couldn't find it.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
shoot. I'll go look for it.
Okay.
We'll
I
make
didn't
sure
see-
you get some.
I didn't see you looking through on my refrigerator. So, Denise, how are you? Doing well, I think. Catherine,
Doing great, thank you.
great.
Nice to
Warren,
be
how's
here.
everything with you?
Well, we're enjoying cooler weather. Good to be seen.
All right, send some south. We'll take it down here. Let's see where I'm going here. Fred, how are you?
Good. Everything's good.
Cities
Thank you.
Peace. Okay.
What number
Everybody
are we up to,
peaceful.
Fred? What are we up to now?
359, and I think one of the great members of this team are going to make 360 soon.
Yay.
All right.
Ah,
Very cool.
wonderful.
Chip and Gretchen, how are you tonight? Like doing well. Tezekiah, how are you?
Good. Glad to be here.
Great. Terry, how are you doing? How's the movie coming?
Okay, got a couple of carloads of stuff over to the new place and hopefully I'll have the internet in tomorrow and we can move over there permanently.
There you go. John Dar, how are you? Two thumbs. Sunita, how are you?
Everybody. Great to see everyone.
Great to see
Hey,
you.
Sunita, good to see you.
Anil, how are you tonight?
Very good, thank you. Great to be here.
Super. And Sarah?
Doing really well. Lovely to see everybody.
I think I said hi to Bonnie Lee already. And
Hello.
hello. And
Hello.
Frank?
Yes, good afternoon. I'm here. Good evening. Thank you. I'm here as well.
Great. And we've got, see, I think I mentioned Catherine Cooley. And we have Martin coming in.
Howdy, howdy.
How are you?
Doing well.
Super. And while we have everybody here, before we get Derek Moore's coming back in, I did want to mention that next week's meeting, we need everybody who went to Houston to the convention to join us, because you'll be the program next week. You'll be speaking about what happened down there, the highlights, and all those items. So just a note up front, be prepared and let me know you're gonna be there, so we'll be able to have a nice discussion about what happened in Houston. Okay, I think I touched base on everybody here, David, so back to you, sir.
All righty. Well, thank you very much, Rudy, and hooray and hello, everybody. Delighted to see you all, and some people I haven't seen in some time. Hello, Belinda. Great.
Put me
Great.
on the spot.
Yep, great.
I deserve it.
All right. Well, tonight is a wonderful night of evolution, as I said earlier. We're evolving from what we have done over this last Rotary year, 2021 to 2022. We're right in the middle of that. And the handoff, the baton goes to Lisa, and we're going to learn more about Lisa and what her vision is. And what we're going to do, I'm going to guide us through some of a review of what we've done, where we've been. And at the conclusion of that, this is just to give you a taste of some of the things. It's not everything. We give you a taste of this. And at the end, I would like to have conversation and really bringing out, keep this in mind, if you would, please. What stood out for you over this last year? We get a taste of the whole year. What stood out for you, and what remains with you from this experience? And then it's like, what did we learn? Experiences can be wonderful, but the point is we're learning together as peace builders, and what we contribute to the world, because it's what we can contribute is needed significantly, as we know. So that's what we'll do. And then Lisa will guide us in giving us some idea about her thoughts, and have a conversation around that, and move to conclusion. So that's the plan. Rudy, if you right, you've got it. So I will get fired up here and start. All righty. So this year has also been with Shekhar, President Shekhar's year, to serve to change lives. And I think that a lot of this happened at Rotary International, and that President Shekhar has done. What's happening here? Here we go. So for our, you gotta move that around. For our year here, we started off, and this is the basically this is the vision and the mission that we had talked about early on, and we have not been real public about it. But it was to together, as a Rotary Eclub of World Peace, together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting peace in our communities and in ourselves. by connecting leaders and conflict resolution experts with solutions to create the culture of peace. The Rotary E-Club of World Peace initiatives aimed to bring about more peaceful societies through its ability to convene and mobilize locally to affect global change. It's a big vision that we have, mission.
I'm on my Rotary tonight.
So one of the things that we've kept in mind but not followed directly are the 7 Rotary action areas. And peace building, in our view, or certainly mine, is that each of these areas, as they are engaged in and service provided in them, is peace building. So it really is peace through maternal and child health, etc. But this is the background from which we work. The beginning of, I'm going to go through the goals that we set, and this is kind of like the preamble of those goals, was the local and global challenges before us as citizens of the world and Rotarians are vast and many. We are fortunate to be part of Rotary, which has the capacity to make important positive impact in these challenges around the world. Each of the members of our E-Club are accomplished leaders and have exceptional experience and skills in various forms of peace building. Just look around in the gallery here, look at each other. Everyone is a leader, accomplished person, very skilled, very competent. Beginning the year, this is our leadership team. The various roles, the officers, as well as the service chairs. We had a tremendous team. There's a couple other people who came in a bit later on, but this is our fundamental team and our board of directors. So I'm going to go ahead and just walk through this. I have to move this a little bit here. Got my picture on us. Okay, so the first goal was to provide initiatives and projects that inspire our members to step forward and put their skills to work to serve and change lives and dream big. There's not everything, but these are just a couple along this line. One was to setting the stage for the year to assist with well-functioning and inspired E-Club Board of Directors, co-lead strategic planning and E-Club messaging, connect our club with club and members to the Rotary world and beyond. We went through a process of having our leaders contact 3 other members in conversations. We introduced the idea of the culture of peace, initiated the monthly E-Club newsletter, which Karen does a magnificent job of. We also initiated the Peace in Action mid-month project newsletter, and also introducing the expanded leadership team. The second goal was to encourage members to embrace and live the foundational values of Rotary to be true examples of peace builders. This is something that Dennis Long has been great in bringing forward in front of us on an ongoing basis, focusing in on, remember, the 4-way test, the code of conduct. What are the values we live by? What are the values that bring people to Rotary? So a couple examples are, we exceeded the giving goals to the Rotary Foundation, both in the annual fund and Polio Plus fund. And Asha and Julie have been terrific in guiding us in that effort. I was representation of the E-Club to the Portland Racial Justice Group. That this is a big one, that we wrote cover letters for and providing support for 2 resolutions. They're very similar, but 2 resolutions for the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, sent to Rotary International Council on Resolution and Rotary International Directors. There's a story behind that, which is another time. We co-led the Heart of Peace music concert, which was absolutely fantastic with Gary Malkin. It's a fundraiser for the Ukrainian refugees. We raised a significant amount of money from our club. Next goal, move forward with both tried and true and innovative initiatives which inspire and ensure local and global actions creating the culture of peace. So one was being introduced to the United Nations High-Level Forum of the Culture of Peace. Another is expanding the engagement in the United Nations International Day of Peace, introducing, which is a very big one for us, International Cities of Peace, and it became the club signature project for a 2 years period with Fred Arment and assistance with Brian Berman and Dennis Wong. Again, the nuclear weapons prohibition. We initiated two presentations for the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women, members of our club. Great presentations there. And then also introducing and supporting the Police to Peace program, which Lisa Roderick is founded and director of, and doing an incredible national level job. Another goal, take creative action steps to further raise the profile of the Rotary E-Club of World Peace as an innovative leader of peace building within Rotary. An important one was we introduced Rotary President Shekhar Mehta to United Nations Ambassador Anurag Chaudhry to enhance the Rotary and UN relationship. It's very important both ways, and so we took a step in that direction. We also introduced Rotary to the UN high-level political forum. More to come on that. And then Marilyn King, bringing Marilyn in, inviting her in as Olympian Thinking Chair, the only one in the Rotary world anywhere. We also established the monthly virtual meetings with the Rotary clubs in St. Petersburg and Vladivostok, Russia, introducing the Peace Education Network, the Status of Women, as we talked about. And okay, moving ahead. This one was to achieve the governor's citation. What we found was that we did not fit all the categories because it really is focused on a in-person Rotary clubs, which there's some things we cannot do. Another one, attracting greater diversity and young people to the E-Club as we surpass 100 people as members. And this is a part we'll come back to in just a moment. Currently, we have 107 members. Yay. Encouraging club members to introduce other new members to bring them in. The retention, we took some steps towards retention, which is very important. People can come in, but they need to be inspired to stay engaged and be involved. Let's see, I'd say, being the co-chair of the PR and branding team, which is very important. What is our message and how do we express our message out in the world? And that's good for that one. This one, to think about now, it was to support discussions with E-Club members and others which explore not only initiatives for change, but also opening levels of consciousness needed for the challenges of today and in the future. So these are just the last two, the list of the last two meetings that we've had. If you received the letter that Rudy sent out, which had a whole list of all the meetings, the people, and the subjects over this last year, it's very, very impressive. So the last 2 months about Russia relations, mental health, coordination of the Rotary International Partnership with IAP, transcendental meditation research, raising peaceful children, vibrational coherence, peace through music, human security, its time has come, empowering peace. And then tonight, continuing our good work and the transition. But you think about it, these are subjects that we are steeped into, and we have the draw to bring these high-level people to us. All of these, Rudy does a magnificent job. Every one of them from I think it was like March of 2016 is recorded and on the website to be able to see, go back to. There's some that are fantastic I really want to see. So moving to specifics, the membership, just as an example of our chairs and co-chairs, the membership co-chairs of Mary Jo Larson and Dr. Kanadi, they had a list. They gave us a report on their views of this last year. Are either of you here and would like to make any comment about your report or what you had to say? Mary Jo or Dr. Kanadi? I can't see, so Rudy, if you could see.
Mary Jo's there. If she wants to speak, she can unmute herself.
Mary Jo's here.
Okay, so if you want to express anything about your experience, Mary Jo.
Oh, thanks, David. Actually, Kanodi and I worked closely together on a number of initiatives, primarily the survey, I would say, in terms of connecting with the members to find out, how they were engaged and what they would like to do moving forward. So the summary of that survey is available for anyone who would like to review that, looking at the next calendar year for Rotary. And then Kanodi was he's very active right now with Peace Fellows, et cetera, and was trying to explore that, but was informed that actually he has to be cautious about reaching out to Peace Fellows. But overall, what we discovered was that that all members are really active in recruiting their colleagues. And so it really wasn't just Kanodi and I that were doing membership recruitment. I think I can't say that we would claim that this was our accomplishment. It was really, everyone's been involved in reaching out to their colleagues. And I think it's very much, to me, it's very much, I'm here on the East Coast. There's a real strong community on the West Coast, and I'm learning a lot just by listening and tuning into activities that have to do with these networks that you have on the West Coast. So that's just an observation from my side.
Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
David,
Yeah.
I might mention that one of our latest members is from Nepal. So we've added a man from Kathmandu. recently.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's the distance. So we have a draw. That's fantastic. So moving on to another chair. This is the vocational service chair that was served so beautifully by Jack. This is what was from his report, and I won't go through it, but I just want to see, Jack, if you are here, would you like to say any highlight for you? Is Jack home?
I don't believe Jack's on.
Okay. So he did a great job, and actually he did some real unique initiatives which continue to go on. And then Dennis Wong was our social justice and DEI chair. Dennis, any thoughts from you? And just a highlight or two.
Yeah, I think one, I hope more people in the club maybe get engaged in this area, which is pretty, I think, important to Rotary International itself, and with this in this program, not only internally but externally, as far as especially in the equity side. And also, I was interested in the fact that it's an opportunity to connect with other Rotary clubs. Interesting enough, a Rotary club in Texas reached out to me, and they have a racial unity program and things like this. So where we can learn from other clubs and other people around the country and around the world. So, and I think this is one of the key things about being part of Rotary is the networking. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. You're terrific in reaching out and again, bringing the messages around values. Keep it in mind because that's the core. So we have the opportunities here. The opportunity has been and is now and is all the more important how we show up with our peace building and service. We do have a real role within Rotary International. People are very aware of us and we have a leadership role. So we'll continue with this and with Lisa. It's just going to be fantastic moving ahead. So I'm going to stop the share. And what I'd like to do is just take a moment here and Rudy, if you could kind of guide the conversation. So one is, what stood out for you taking a look at this kind of walk through our journey together? And then what remained with you or what did we learn? What stays with us that we learned from this experience? So I'm just going to open that up to any one of us. So just what
Go ahead, Barbara.
Yeah, show your hand or do the reaction hand so it can be seen easily on your screen.
We'll do Barbara, and then I think Julie had her hand up. So
yeah, you're muted, Barbara.
You know, it was so wonderful to watch this year unfold. I watched people who I didn't know could do what they did. And I saw miracles happen. When the energy is there, the passion is there. I mean, I'm looking at Julie, the things that Julie did, the concert, the fabulous fundraising ideas. And I look at each of you and I thank you for bringing your skill set to our Rotary E-Club. Every one of you have made this club stronger, and I really appreciate each of you. And so that's what I learned this year, that if you give people a chance, you give members of our Rotary E-Club a chance to go beyond their expectations, they'll do it. Thank you, David. And good leadership is sharing. Thank you.
Julie, do you have a comment? I wasn't sure.
Sorry?
Julie? Yeah, do you have a comment?
Oh, you know what? Everything I was going to say, Barbara said 4 times more beautifully. So
Julie, I have to thank you because you have been through a lot and yet it never interfered with the work you're doing. And that concert, again, was phenomenal. Thank you, Julie.
Oh, that was really David.
That was so Julie set a goal at the start of the year, $4,000 for the annual fund. We exceeded that, probably close to 12,000, and over $7,000 went from our club members and others' gifts. In fact, somebody from outside our club made a large donation for the refugees, Ukrainian refugees. And so we're pretty excited about that. And on polio, what'd you do on polio, Julie?
Well, the goal was only $1,875 and we did $4,065. And I'm so very grateful. Grateful to every single one of you. Can I make a last minute plea since I have the floor? We still have 2 more hours before midnight. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation will match all donations to the Polio Plus Fund for the year, 3 to 1. And the goal is if we get $50 million in that Polio Plus Fund, they will match it 3 to 1. So that would be an amazing 200 million raised for the work, which is, we're so close. And I know that some of you know this, but when I learned this way of looking at it, I was just floored. If we don't make it by even $1 million, right? You think, well, okay, we got close. We got 49 million. We didn't get 50, but we got close. Only $1 million short, but that's not really it. We're shy than the 1 million plus the 3 million that the Gates Foundation would have kicked. $4 million on the table. That's just an example. So today is the actual end of the Rotary fiscal year. If I'm not, no, we have 2 days.
2 days.
We have 2 days till June 30th. Oh my goodness, 2 more days for you to make a small donation if you're in a position to do that and feel so moved. And if you do, the internet is the quickest way, or you can call. That's it. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Thank you,
Do you know
Julie.
how close we are?
I do not. Jack asked me that too. And we're pretty close, I'm sure, but it's always a stretch. It's always a stretch, you know, and it should be, right? We should stretch, but it's always a little bit of a stretch.
stuff.
And I just
Solid.
wanted to bring that up. It's my last act for the year.
It's not your last, but that's good.
For the year, she said.
Sala.
Yes, I think of some of our speakers, and one of the things that I sort of knew, but I've learned even more, is how important it is to tell stories. Because we can talk about metrics and dollars and all those kinds of things, but telling the stories is what engages people and engages us. And John Noltner of Peace, who tells these stories all over the world. And so the one who does the trees, who does the trees? Laurie Marshall. Yeah. I just think when people get together and tell their stories, it makes such a big difference. And there's no amount of money that can really make that kind of difference.
Thanks, Sala. Anil. You have to unmute yourself.
Yes,
Anil.
yes, definitely. I just wanted to thank the group for accepting me. I'm delighted to be in the group. I've enjoyed every meeting, and thanks for allowing me the opportunity to present our research and to bring Dr. David Johnson to present what we feel is a tried and tested formula from the Vedic technologies of collective consciousness. But I also learned about all these various approaches from various people, you know, from music to social action, the police side, or homeless people and drug people. And again, the last week's stuff was quite intersecting between what we did and, you know, others do. So I'm just delighted to see this club as building a coalition of various approaches to world peace. And I think that even though any one group might think that our approach is the best, but everybody wants to contribute. Nobody wants to be given peace on a platter. They want to contribute and have that purpose as part of their life. So this group is a great kaleidoscope of various approaches. So I really appreciated what I've seen. I've been a member only for 6 months and looking forward to hopefully a long association with the club. So
Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste, Derek. Namaste.
We appreciate you being here. So
very much.
Your addition to the club. And I might just mention that in our club, besides all the peace builders you see on the screen, some of these folks happen to be from other organizations that are tied closely with Rotary International. Martin is here, he's a peace fellow, but he's also with Mediators Beyond Borders International, as is the CEO of Mediators Beyond Borders International, a member of our club. And we have many of our members here are former Peace Corps volunteers, and Peace Corps is an area. And so we look forward in the future of working together with our Peace Fellows and former Peace Corps volunteers to begin to do projects with them that they could initiate out in the field.
Can we talk about storytelling?
Yeah, real short.
Me?
Yes.
Hi, Carol Kretschmann from the Peacemaker Corps. The storytelling aspect that we talked about earlier and continuing it is so important. The young people that make films for our film festival, and we've brought Rotary really right in the center of it. It's been so, David Wong, I hope that you will come down to the UN on the 20th of December and actually be there when the kids are there. But the storytelling is so important. And right now with the Ukrainians and the Moldovians and the Polish and all of them calling us and want to learn, anybody who has the skills to teach a young person just the beginning rudimentary about making a video online would be so appreciative, because so many of them want to do that this summer.
And we just haven't been able to cover the money for all of the trainings that we would need to do in those parts of the world. So thank you. I've enjoyed every minute of this year. You, and with my husband passing away, you really saved my life. And I love you all.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
Love
you.
you too,
And we
Carol.
love you.
Yeah.
Fred,
Thank-
could you unmute yourself, please? In our club, because of Fred, International Cities of Peace, you might mention what happened out with Barbara and things we did here locally here in Southern California, and then one that's developing in Cathedral City.
Yeah, it's been fantastic, actually. Barbara's actually Brian connected to Barbara, and Barbara came on board and brought the whole city with her and the UN Ambassadors Club. And then all of a sudden we got invited to this club. And David and I had many conversations about what that could mean to everyone. And then all of a sudden Rudy kicked in with his, I'd say, elegant understanding of what Rotary could be. And all of a sudden we had San Bernardino, and we had Crestline, and now we have Cathedral City with Bob, and it's just been spectacular. We have Tammy, who's bringing on other cities, and so I'm just really appreciative. We're here to help. My idea is that Rotary does projects in the community, and this E-Club could change that to Rotary seeing community as the project. And I think that's a really important. So I appreciate everybody's help in this, Brian and Dennis and everybody involved. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Fred.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think you got it, Rudy. So,
yeah, I think we can. I think we pretty much covered that right now.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, and keep in mind as we go about learning and sharing, because as I mentioned, that we're teachers and learners with each other, and then we are all the more effective and in our personal lives as well as in engaging out and beyond into the world and into our communities. So, Lisa. Please come in, and I'm just so delighted to be having the transition with Lisa. This is going to be a great year. She's done incredible work. You don't know all the things that she does behind the scenes with Police to Peace and other aspects of that. So, Lisa, please.
Well, thank you, everyone. It is such an honor. I am speaking to you from Kansas City, Missouri, the great state of Missouri, where I'm speaking at the National Sheriff's Association, something I do quite often. And it strikes me so much of the work of this club is to bring people together. That's actually my work with Police to Peace. That's why we have police and peace in the same word, which is not lost on a lot of people, that it sounds so unusual. But the E-Club of World Peace, whenever I tell people about it, and many sheriffs are Rotarians, I was sharing that tonight at dinner, about our work around the world, and they just couldn't imagine that so many people from so many countries would get together every week as a Rotary Club and do this work globally. Because Rotary is wonderful, but I describe it as I do describe it as 1,000 points of light. There's no central Rotary. There are 1,000 clubs doing 1,000 things, and they're all wonderful. And they're doing them in their communities, which are great. And there are very few clubs that do it globally, worldwide, and we're one of them. And as Rudy pointed out, we're really we're a North Star for a bit of Rotary in terms of the future. Looking around the room, people are of all ages. They come from all countries, all backgrounds, all walks of life. And if you know Rotary, that's often not true, right? They have a different type of club. It's more community oriented. People may look very similar and seem very similar, but that's actually not true in this club in Rotary. So I see us as essentially an aspect, a glimpse of the future of Rotary. And I did have some people say, well, do you not really, you don't get to know people if they're only on Zoom. And I laughed and I said, well, we started on Zoom. So that's actually not true. We know people, some of the people we may know even better than if they were in our communities, because we don't take any of these relationships for granted. And we do see that the relationships cross time zones and countries and faiths and beliefs, really, really exemplifying what Rotary is about. So that's what I got out of the last year. And that is the growth of this club is not an accident, it's the future. It's the future of so many people coming together with so many different views. You know, what we see in America in particular, but it's not unique to America, and that is the polarization comes out of an intolerance. But I believe that familiarity creates tolerance. When you're familiar with someone, you see them as people. And when you're not, you could call them a name and then you could label them and sort of stop thinking about it. No one does that in this club. And the reason is we're from everywhere. We literally represent the world. So that's why I'm excited just to share that with you. And to follow in David's footsteps, the truth is that we're continuing on the same journey as David, and it's a 2-year journey. And in talking about it with club leadership, what I thought was so important was with so much uncertainty and change and turmoil in the world, what we need is a little stability. We need something to come back to. We need to continue to build. We don't need to tear something all down and go and make something new when what we're working on is working so well in building. So David's goals, the goals of the club continue. I think it's a wonderful trajectory we're on. I will tell you that running Police to Peace, we're known as the marketing department for good policing. We do a lot of crazy stuff here at Police to Peace, and we do it because it's fun. And in fact, one thing I will do in beginning my presidency is announce a 5th test. So there's a 4-way test, and I think people should know the 4-way test. We may call on people randomly to recite the 4-way test in a funny way, so be prepared. This starts next week. You can be prepared. And there are prizes for winning, but you must be present to win. In any event, if we're going to recite the 4-way test in a funny way, then how about a 5th-way test? And what about if the 5th way is it fun?
Right.
Because as I look around the room, people laugh, we share, we have camaraderie. I know a lot of people and clubs do this in person, but we do it across every time zone and across every faith and every perspective and every background and every age and all of what we bring together. And I think that it is really fun. So thinking about the work we do, and also when I look back on the year and all of the speakers, the profound information, all of what we were exposed to, it can really be pretty heavy. The world has a lot of challenges. And it's not like we're a club that doesn't deal with the world's challenges. We were formed to deal with the world's challenge, right? Which is peace. The Eclub of world peace. And so that can be a little heavy. Not that it's not tolerable or it's not something we would want, but we can balance that with a little levity and the fact that it's fun, so that we can pick ourselves up and really follow in what Jennifer Jones suggested and her view of this coming year. And I do want to share that with you, because if people haven't read it, I think it really captures what we're about. And so there's a Rotary national presidential theme, as you know. David talked about that. And with Jennifer Jones, there's a new one. So I'll ask a question. Our first quiz going into the new year: who can recite Jennifer Jones's 2022 presidential theme? Winner gets a prize. You must be president to win. Julie, you're very schooled. Anybody else?
Imagine.
Julie knows. You are the winner. Let's go ahead. And what is it, Julie?
Oh, somebody else said it before I did, so they win.
Did they? Well, the whole
Yes.
thing. Arthur, did you say it?
I said, imagine.
That's not all of it.
Imagine
We want
Rotary.
the whole banana. Who can recite the whole banana? It's not just, this is not just a Beatles song. Okay, so I'll recite it because it is imagined, but it's more than that. So this is a woman, of course, she came from Ontario, Canada. She is the first woman. She is a beacon of light. Again, I use this idea of a North Star, a compass, a guiding compass for what we could really be. And so here's what she thought, and I'm sure she put a lot of reflection into it. Imagine, as Arthur said, and he was right, and so was Julie, but imagine Rotary, right, as a place. Imagine a world that deserves our best, where we get up each day knowing that we can make a difference. When I read that, as I was coming into this presidential term, I thought to myself, I don't know of another club, and I speak to a lot of clubs. Many of you I've met on other clubs, and many of you live in other cities where I speak regularly. I don't know of another club which exemplifies that to a greater extent than we do. Not in a way that's self-aggrandizing, but in a way that we really appreciate what we bring to the world and to each other. So imagine that we wake up each day and we do service, which I think all of us do, each in our own ways. So that's a little bit. I do have other things which I've spoken to the board about, fun stuff. So, Rudy is calling on people. We can do four-way tests. There is a version of four-way test bingo that I think we should explore. There's the crossword puzzle. How about in fireside chat, if we move it to a time where we all come and people break out into little rooms and just meet each other, 3 or 4 people at a time, and really learn about each other, tell stories, as Carol was saying, share our interests, become people with one another on an even deeper level. I think that would be terrific. And then sharing with one another in ways so that if there was one thing I would add to the work that David has done, which has been so broad and so impactful, it would be this, and that is, how do we bring this home? Dennis's phenomenal work in diversity and inclusion is so important. You're right, Carol, is so important. But how do we bring that home? And maybe Dennis could speak sometime. DEI, it's an important subject. It's a term we've heard. How do we bring that to our community? How about a little seminar about bringing some of these things home back into each of our communities so that we are 107 points of light. We are 1,000 points of light, each bringing that into our communities. So David, everyone, these are some ideas I have. I've been told that if there was a box, I've never met it because I think out of the box. And I've never been called conventional. But to shake up the world, as Barbara did, and then as David did, and so many others have done, just a few ideas to really create engagement. Because when we know one another, we lift each other up and we can lift up the entire world. And I think that's a part of our mission, as David explained, for the club in the coming year. So thank you. I will turn it over back to David.
Well, thank you so much.
David, I might add one thing, and that's a little carryover into Lisa's year as well. I want to thank Dennis Wong for his work. He has a weekly Zoom call, that connects with Rotarians on the ground in the Ukraine. And so we get weekly updates from those folks that are on the ground in Ukraine, refugees. We have Rotarians in almost every country and territory in the world. So Dennis, thank you for your work, and thank you for sticking with that week after week after week.
Very, very definitely. It is high quality, it's focused, it's great heart and caring. So
I might also mention with Fred, Fred is connected with a young woman who was in Afghanistan and connected with Canadian Rotarians who got her moved to Pakistan. They're now trying to work on getting her a visa to come from Pakistan to Canada. These are Canadian Rotarians. Fred, would you mention that, please?
Yes. We had an individual who started a City of Peace in Afghanistan, was teaching young women, young girls. And when the Taliban came in, she was about to be married to a Taliban soldier. So we kicked in, we went to the Chinese, and they couldn't do anything about it. And then we tried the U.S. State Department, and all of a sudden we contacted the Canadians, and we have about 6 or 7 cities of peace in Canada, and they kicked in. And I tell you what, they came up with $20,000, and they have a program that she's going to be able to come, and she's going to have free education, and she's going to have a job. And the bureaucracy of the UNHCR, she's been there for 7 months now, and she's just in a little apartment, and she has to be kind of quiet. And we just all have our thoughts with her, and the group here is very supportive of that. And she really appreciates it. She really appreciates everybody here thinking about her. So thank you for mentioning that, Rudy.
No, thank you, Fred, for those efforts that you're doing. It's a tremendous, the reach that your organization has, and then tied in with Rotary, what that reach is. builds on that. And, you know, as David said, each of us works on peace in Rotary, but also in our own ways with many nonprofits that are represented in our club members. And together with those connections, just multiplies our reach exponentially. So it's awesome. Arthur wanted to mention something back in David's work during his year. Arthur, you got a short message?
Yes, well, first, great that David's got the club organized into groups, and we have the group of Rotarian producers picturing peace. And you've heard from Carol or Peace in the Streets, getting young kids to be producers of peace. And of course, Emmanuel Idia has done so much with his films like Guns and Bombs, a love story, and he's gotten this new one he's doing on H2O, you know, about water being kind of the magic of connecting peace around the world. And of course, with our film, The World Is My Country, it went with a Rotary spot we produced out to not only 100 PBS stations, well, 100 PBS stations coast to coast, but also on Dish Network and DirecTV. And now we're starting to work on getting it out with some support from people like, wonderful Rotarian donors for the spot to start getting it out around on other public broadcasting stations around the world. We're going to Cape Town, South Africa, and so on. So we're very grateful, and we're very excited about having Lisa come in as our new president and working together for on this theme of Imagine Rotary and Imagine Rotary in film. Film is one of the powerful ways to imagine peace. Thank you.
Beautiful.
David, back to you.
All righty, well, thank you. And I would just like to hold for a moment to reflect on what Lisa had to say. Please, what did she bring forward in you? What did she spark? What ideas do you have? What would you like to see, you know, coming up in this next year? So just open it up. Any thoughts, questions, comments?
I liked her number 5, fun. You know, fun really stands for funny, understanding, and nobody is left out. So you think about that. And Lisa, I want to thank you for putting us all together again in a fun way. Thank you.
Julie.
I would like to hear from John Darr about what he has done with, what's his name, Jeff Kreider?
With robotics?
With the robotics, with the girl that you're going to give, make a hand for.
John Darr, are you there?
I am, and thank you for allowing me to say a few words. You know, we've been working with Jeff all along, working quietly behind the scenes. The students have literally put together their own factory. It takes them from the time that we receive an order for a prosthetic hand, they can have it shipped in about 2 weeks. So they will produce the parts, 3D print the parts. Some of the students will design it using computer-aided design programs. They can modify it to suit the needs and the individual challenges that young people have. They can produce it, assemble it, and then ship it to wherever the medical team needs it. We've been very excited to work on this project with Samantha. That's our new friend in Ecuador, 12-year-old girl. And we've made her a part of our robotics team. So she will be prototyping pieces that we put together, providing us with feedback, and then we'll modify them and upgrade them and send her additional parts. So that's working out real nice. If you haven't been following it in the news, there's some civil unrest in Ecuador, and that civil unrest has made it impossible for the medical mission to go there this summer. So they postponed that. But Jeff Kreider and some other dedicated doctors and nurses plan on making a trip in the fall. Jeff will be coming to Cleveland to meet and photograph the students, to learn more about what they've put together and their goal of helping young people around the world. And then he will personally deliver those components to Samantha. And by the way, Samantha and her family sent us a video thanking us once when they heard that the high school students here in Cleveland were working on this project for the family literally broke down. They put together a great video and they sent it to the students And our students are putting together a video in both English and in Spanish that they can send back to that family as well.
John Dar, thank you for the lives that you're changing and working with these young people and expanding their horizons and their abilities. It's just amazing what you're doing. So thank you.
And the
Absolutely.
thing that kind of touched my heart, besides all the stuff you're doing, is that because of our club, because of a speaker that we had, we're gonna help this girl get a prosthetic hand.
Yep, exactly. Marilyn King and then Brian.
Yeah, just to David's question about thoughts about what Lisa had to say. The fun part just strikes me right where I live. But the other thing I think is really important is one of the reasons I joined this club is because it is unique, both in that we started as an e-club, but that we have world peace in our name and in our mission. And so the fact that you said something, Lisa, like never met a box and that kind of thing, I'm really excited about, whoever enjoys that kind of thing, for us to put our heads together and just see how we can build on the uniqueness of this club at this particular time, because the desire for world peace, I think, has gone up significantly as things have become more challenging and people are much more open. So I would love to see us live outside the box with Lisa and come up with ways that we can use our unique position and the reach of Rotary worldwide to impact world peace. So thanks, I'm on board.
Super, super, super.
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah, first I'll touch on one of the great benefits working with David, and there's too many to list, but when we received the assignment to call 3 members or connect with 3 members, I got to learn more deeply as to who these 3 people are and the work that they're doing. So I recommend that we continue that in the new year. And Lisa, your suggestion about the fireside chat, which to me was very important, and to have breakout rooms where we can tell our stories, go much deeper into how we became peace leaders and the significant challenges that we've faced and overcome. So I totally support that. And I look to working with you and having some fun while doing it. Thank you.
Wonderful.
We have Lori Marshall. Great to see you tonight. You got your hand up there. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I had another, I was doing a training on healing generational trauma that conflicted, but I'm so glad to see everybody. And the work about the prosthetic hand is so moving. I am feeling, the image is coming to me that all schools, K through college, should be think tanks for innovation and with partnership with adults. And for International Day of Peace, my nonprofit Unity Through Creativity is inviting elementary, middle, and high school kids to write an essay about what does peace building mean? And we're asking the editor of El Paso Matters to run a winning essay and to make videos. And we need to make peace big, loud, and beautiful. And Marilyn King, I'm so happy to see you because I know you know how to have fun and how to make contests against ourselves. As Brian was saying, we've been through a lot to be a peace leader. And we have to up our game because the stakes are so high. And I just posted on my Facebook page a video about the Freedom Riders, who 150 young people, they changed the course of this country. They broke an unjust law. They were committed to nonviolence, committed to justice. And this is not going to be an easy next decade. So I'm so glad to be here at the Rotary E-Club. Thank you, David, so much. And Lisa, I'm sorry I didn't hear your whole thing, but very happy to see everyone.
Beautiful.
Super.
Thank you, Lori.
Hala, and then back to David.
I've been very much inspired by people working with youth and young people, and I hope we continue to have that as one of our focuses, because we're not going to be around forever. And not only that, but young people have different perspectives and new ideas. And if we teach them early in life not to polarize things and look at others as others, that's going to make a big difference in the next generations. So I hope we continue to have some focus on working with young people. Thank you.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much, everyone. And so we're going to leave on the bridge from last year to this coming year. Some of you were very involved with, so we just completed the World Unity Week, which was from June 18th to the 25th. 8 of our people were presenters during this World Unity Week. It's an international week, reaches out many, many people, but it is out beyond our Rotary world per se. And last year we had 11 people who were part of that. This year it is expanded from World Unity Week to 99 days of peace through unity, which goes from June 18 to September 21, actually 24th, but to the International Day of Peace. And during this 99 days, we're going to have, I'm working with a number of people to set up at least every 2 weeks, we're going to have a presentation from our club, the Rotary at large, another presentation around peace through unity. And it's coming up, you'll hear more about it. But I want to conclude with an upper music video. So we'll just say good night, thank you. And Rudy, if you fire it up, please.
All right, more to go. Let me try it again. Sorry about that.
Okay.
You have to click on that, Ruth?
Come on, come on, come on. I'm sorry, this is this should link. What's going on here?
It keeps on saying end of slideshow.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, David.
Can you put the link in your browser? Because it's a YouTube link, no?
Right.
Yeah, if you fire it up, copy it and put it in your browser and start it.
You click optimize for video when you're in Zoom before you share.
Hold on a second. Let me get over here.
And if that's just not going to work, then we'll send it out to everybody an email.
It's getting closer, it looks to me. No?
This is a new kind of fun we're having.
Peacemakers just want to have fun.
All right, musical moments are next.
Right.
Tammy, play for a couple of seconds and that may calm Rudy down enough to get it going.
Well, we could start next week with our new and have the music then too.
We can kick off then. How's that?
Yeah, I think we should
Yeah.
kick off the wonderful speak that you spoke, that you did, and this will be the beginning of our new chapter with you.
I was hoping that while we were waiting, if I flipped my camera around, that the hummingbird that I've been watching throughout our call would come back.
Oh,
I think he got his last little sip before he went home this evening. So
oh.
That's fun.
Is that sugar water, Marilyn? Here, mute it.
So we'll email that out to everybody.
All right.
Terrific. And good luck. And we look forward to tomorrow, next week. We look
All right,
forward to that.
we'll do it then.
David, thank you for your work and hard work and leadership.
Sure.
Thank you, David.
All right.
David,
Thank you,
David.
See you soon. Happy New
Thank you,
Year.
David.
Cheers.
Thank you.
congratulations. Yay.
Yay.
Bravo. Way to go, Lisa.
Yeah.
Great job.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
And everyone, this was lovely.
Rudy, did you read?